I couldn't stay in posture through the golf ball until I learnt this simple right arm trick. Now, once I learnt this right arm trick, I felt incredibly silly because it's something that's staring at us right in the face, that if we do it, we will automatically stay in posture. And at the end of the video, I will show you these 2 drills that will keep you in your posture via this simple right arm trick. And what this right arm move is keeping the right arm bent, moving through the golf ball. But what does that have anything to do with staying in posture? Well, if you think about it here, if that right arm stays bent, for you to get onto that golf ball and still hit the golf ball solidly, you have to stay down in your posture. Where we see so many people, like I used to back in the day, used to straighten the right arm coming into the shot, really extend it, and that gets you out of your posture. Because if that right arm starts to straighten up, your body has to stand up to make way for that right arm to extend, because if it doesn't, you're just going to fat the shot every single time. Now, whether this is something you're doing consciously, like I was trying to do that movement consciously, I was told to really have that right arm fire at the ball, really kind of punch that golf ball or palm it, and that was keeping me out of being in good posture the entire time. That's where looking at someone like Tommy Fleetwood, for example, you see him coming through the golf ball. What is he looking like? That right arm is nicely bent. Sure, he might straighten up post impact, but then coming into the shot and at impact, that right arm's nicely bent. Again, someone like Dustin Johnson, one of the best rotators in the game. You can see him, what is he doing? Keeping that right arm bent. Sure, maybe coming slightly straightening post impact, but at the golf ball and slightly after, it is nicely bent, keeping him in his posture. So this is something I changed in my golf swing many moons ago and saw a great improvement. This is something I did with one of my old coaches. What I noticed straight away when we made this change of keeping that right arm bent going through the ball, I started to immediately, of course, stay in my posture, but I immediately started rotating a lot better through the shot. I had pretty much no rotation. I was pretty much square onto the golf ball at impact with throwing the right arm. So I was losing out on club face control, and I was losing out on a little bit of power also. So as soon as I started to keep that right arm bent, I started getting much more open at impact. So I was creating a little bit more rotational torque, and my rotational rates going through the golf ball were much more constant. So that meant I was keeping this club face nicely under control as I was moving through. I wasn't having such a volatility of the club face, which is why so many of you out there need to do it. Because straightening the right arm makes you rotate that club face, and then obviously keeping that right arm bent makes it keep nicely stable to the arc as you move through. That's going to mean more consistent shots when you're going out and playing your round of golf. So let's dive into the 2 drills to do here. Really important little thing. I feel like a lot of you are going to make a lot of gains by just thinking of the right arm and how your body's moving through the shot. So this is the first one here that I did with my old coach back in the day in that lesson, and we were hitting balls with one arm. So if I'm hitting balls with one arm, my right arm here, for me to hit the shot successfully, I have to keep that right arm bent and I have to turn through at the same time. So if I would straighten the right arm coming into that, I'm gonna, 1, really hit the ball way left with this one arm, but 2, I'm gonna have a massive chance of just chunking the golf ball like I did there, because my right arm's overextending early and then I could easily hit the ground first. So this is where, for me, just to really just dink one down there right in front of me, I have to keep that right arm bent and I have to move through nicely. So just keeping that right arm nicely bent and then moving through. Some good rotation. It's a brilliant one. This is a great rotation drill also, because again, to move through the golf ball with just swinging with one arm, you have to use more of your body. So again, moving my body, right arm staying nicely bent. There we go, hitting some really nice shots. So again, what does this do? This creates a feel, and once you've done enough of this, you'll be able to absorb that feel and then put it in some swings. So that's where I made a little adaptation to this years and years later, and that was after seeing Tommy Fleetwood hit shots. So Tommy Fleetwood, like we said, he will keep that right arm bent really until just about post impact. He'll straighten out from there, but you'll see him on the range sometimes hitting some shots and he'll keep that right arm bent all the way through to the finish. Very much a drill that keeps him in his posture, keeps him turning through, so all the way through to the finish, right arm staying bent, because of course if it's bent at the finish, where's it going to be bent? At impact. It's very hard then to straighten and then rebend. So I adapted from the one arm drill to the Tommy Fleetwood style, because then it gave those same feelings as the one arm drill, but then got it into the golf ball at the exact same feeling. So nice shorter ones, keep the right arm bent all the way through. I really classify this as one drill because it's just a different step and progression. There we go, keeping that right arm bent all the way through. You'll see that posture. I'm staying through really, really nicely. So my second drill here is an absolute favorite of the channel because it gets you doing so many good things through the golf ball, and it keeps that right arm nicely bent, so it keeps you in your posture. That's the preset rotation drill, where we set up at a rotated impact position. So you open up your hips as much as you can, weight is 90% on the left leg, open up your chest as much as you can, and then the right shoulder is as close as you can get it to the right hip. And that's gonna have the right arm bent as a result. And then all we do is we spring back and spring through from that position there. So doing that, of course, you're going to be able to then just maintain that bent right arm going through the ball. So you're going to stay in posture extremely nicely from that. But of course, just from doing the drill. So again, getting in that position, there we go, and then swinging back, swinging through, not really swinging overly long, something you'll probably notice throughout all these drills. I'm not swinging massively long because I'm trying to isolate that part going through the golf ball. So really important. So again, preset impact, spring back, swing through. That's going to nicely keep that structure going through the shot. And then once again, you've done enough of those, you've absorbed the feels, then do a nice, slow, smooth swing just to make sure you're getting the movement patterns. And then have a look on camera, see whether you're doing it. If you are, ramp up the speed. If you're not, keep up that, keep doing the drills. It's going to take some time to get into your golf swing, absolutely, because it's the fastest part of the swing. But here's a little extra drill that's going to bridge the gap between practice swing and practice and getting into your real swing. So here we go. This is how you bridge the gap between a practice swing and a real swing. As we all know, we can be tour players with our practice swings, but then when we get into the golf ball, it degrades quickly. But the thing is, of course, we know repetition is what gets you there, but there is a style of practice that bridges the gap. There is no bridge quite a lot of the time from those two, unless you do this. This is called transference practice. So it's where you hit something with mass, that's not a golf ball, and the body somewhat simulates a little bit closer to what it would be like with a golf ball. Because you're having something that your body is going to tense up and react to, you're going to have a little bit different of a response in your brain than you would do with a practice swing. So it's going to be a lot more golf ball-like, so it bridges the gap. It's the halfway point. So this is where I've got an impact bag here. So with the impact bag, what I'm trying to do, the same type of movements, just trying to get into that same position, make sure that right arm is feeling like it's staying bent. Of course, then it's great for compression, this. Really, really good. But you can work on absolutely anything, and because you're hitting something with a bit of mass to it, you will bridge that gap and you will get it into your swing a little bit faster. I'd say vast majority of all golfers do not practice like this. That's one of the reasons why golfers struggle so much to get something into their golf swing. You have to do this. So, again, keep that right arm bent all the way through to the finish. Really good way to go about working on it. Of course, once we've done a ton of those, so you can imagine you could do practice swings and then you can go into your impact bag. And let's say we're doing the Tommy Fleetwood bent right arm. And then that gets the feeling in there a lot quicker. And of course, again, it takes a lot longer than a lot of players would really imagine it does, especially to make this change, but even to get to full swing when you're doing something. So, okay, now full swing, this is months down the line. And then see whether we can replicate those same positions or not. So a lot of players will straight away go, okay, I'm going to think this into a full swing. It is not going to happen unless you're incredibly gifted. That will only happen then. So transference practice, really important. Make sure you progress up nicely through it. This is the fastest part going through the golf ball, is impact. If you want one of those, if you haven't already got one, golftrainingaids.com, JChownGolf, all in uppercase. You'll find an impact bag on there and you'll be able to get it. There's a link down in the description for that also. So absolutely guys, have a great practice at this and you'll be able to stay in your posture way better. So if you enjoyed this video, click the like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So guys, brilliant news. My courses are now available on the Skillist website. So you don't have to go and purchase them and watch them on your app on a small phone. You can go onto your desktop, purchase and watch the courses on the Skillist site. So whether it's the ultimate guide to rotation in the downswing, the ultimate guide to fixing your over the top, or the complete guide to shallowing the golf club, they are all there on the Skillist website. So all you have to do is go to the Skillist site, click on courses, and there you can see the courses right there. Mine are there, as you can see, and you can even type in the name of the course you want and it will pop up for you there. There's also a link to all the courses down in the description also.